My Pepe. I don't know about my Pepe Minier that lived in Vermont.
You don't know his name?
He was born, yeah, his name was Louis. Louis, and his wife was Cabano, Matatano Cabano. Well, his wife's name was Cabano, maiden name.
And where were they from?
All right, when are you going to start?
Anytime. Tell us today's date is July 2nd, 1981.
All right.
We're at 22 Boynton Street in Lynn, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
With Mrs. Alice Charette, a distinguished resident of Leominster, Massachusetts. And what are we talking about? Do we want some history?
Today is July 2nd.
How old are you?
Do you want me to start over?
No? Just tell me, how old are you?
Oh, I am 67 years old, and I'm a resident of Leominster, Massachusetts. I'm here visiting my famous son and his wife with 3 children.
You might make a note that only I am famous. My wife and children are not known anywhere outside of Boynton Street.
What? How do you say that now?
No, I'm just kidding. Keep going.
Oh, keep going. And so we are on vacation this week. I'm on vacation with Sister Connie, my daughter, my 3rd child of the family. I had 6 children. And we happen to be on vacation, and right now we're at my son's house. We're getting ready to go back to Leominster and spend the rest of the week vacationing with Steve Charette, and I don't know what else we're going to do because we've been busy. We just come back from Enfield. We were there with Paula, my daughter-in-law, and Matthew, her son, my grandson.
Okay, let's talk about where you were born again.
Oh, I was born in Troy, Vermont in 1914, January 4th, 1914. And we lived there in Vermont until 1922. We moved to Massachusetts in 1922 and came to Leominster to live. We moved on Whitney Street. And at that time, there were no electricity. I remember we had lamps and gas lamps on the wall and lamps at night, you know, to light up. And my father went to work at the railroad station in Fitchburg. And I went to school at St. Cecilia's School. And I think my mother went to work too. She used to work in Whitney Carriage, was it? Whitney Reed. And besides that, she used to bring some homework home at night. And we used to braid that leather. I remember that very well. And then we went back to Vermont again because my grandfather needed some help, and we went back to Vermont. And I graduated from the 8th grade from Troy Grammar School, and then I went to North Troy High School for 1 year. And my parents didn't have that much money, you know, so I boarded with this family. And I used to do housework to pay for my board and room going to school. And so
In the same town?
No, it was about 14 miles from the farm.
So that's why you had to board?
Yes, that's why I had to stay and board there. And
this was the first year of high school?
First year of high school. And then my father decided to move back to Massachusetts, and so we came back to Massachusetts, and I didn't continue my education because there was hardly any work. I think must have been a depression or something, and I had to go to work. And I used to do housework for $3 a week. I worked for these Jewish people. They owned a big factory.
What was their name?
Mr. and Mrs. Falk. They had the Independent Law Company in Fitchburg. Mm-hmm. Now it's not there anymore. I don't know I know it's been sold. I don't know if it's closed up or what. But I worked for them for 3-4 years, $3 a week. I had one day a week off. And they had a camp at Fort Pond, and we used to, every summer. Do you remember that? We used to go to Fort Pond and live there for the summer. And that's where I met my husband, Daddy Camille. Well, I hadn't met him at a whist party. And I was only about 15 years old then. And so I went out. That's lousy, huh?
No, I'm looking at Paula. Stop being so silly.
Oh.
So, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
So, I met my husband, and we went out 3 years, 5 days. 3 years, 5 months, 2 days, and 10 minutes, I guess, and we got married. And we had 6 lovely children, and the oldest one was Reverend Danny Charette, Father Dan. And then I had Jerry, which is a state trooper. And my third one, oh boy, I'm telling you, God was good to me. He sent me the most beautiful daughter. I was so proud of her. She became a nun, Sister Connie. And then my 4th child was Joanne. And I always dreamt of becoming a nurse. I never could go in nursing because you had to have a high school diploma to go in nursing, and I didn't have one, so. And then my 5th one was another beautiful child, the biggest one of my family. I had 4 before him, but he was my hardest delivery. They always thought that I was going to have twins, but when he was born, he weighed 12 pounds, 1 ounce. I almost broke the record at the Lumsden Hospital, and that was William Henry. And he was so beautiful. I had some clothes. They had given me a shower, and there were clothes that he couldn't even wear. He had such big feet, and he was so big. He was like a 3-month-old baby. And then the last one was a girl, and she became a Navy nurse, a Navy wave. So I'm so proud. You know, I used to brag about my children and how they all had different vocations, and I couldn't help but brag. And people used to say, my children used to get mad at me and say, "Stop it, Ma, don't start that again." But I had very good luck. God was very good to me to send me these beautiful children. And today I have 10 grandchildren, and they are so precious. I don't know what it is about grandchildren, but oh, you love them to death. I'm telling you, they're so precious. The oldest one is 25 years old. He's already married, Steve. That's Jerry's son. He's married. And the second one is, second oldest is Brenda. She's also married. And then there's Luann and Scott And then Joanne has 3 children. She has Peter, Mary, and Ellen. And Bill has 3 children. Matthew and Emily, the little doll from Korea. She was adopted when she was 6 months old. And Daniel, the baby. He is 16 months old. He's the youngest one of my grandchildren. And he is so cute. I love him to death. And all he says, Mime, hi Mime. And we went to church with him yesterday, and he sang Hallelujah during Mass, and Matthew did the reading. No, Sister Connie did the reading, and Matthew brought in brought up the wine, the bread and wine, and Father Campbell said a nice Mass for us. And we went and visited Danny's grave, put some flowers on his grave, and had a nice brunch at the cafeteria in Enfield. And then we came back to Lynn.
Let me ask you a question.
What?
After all is said and done,
Yes?
how would you like people to remember you?
How would I like people to remember me? Well, I don't know. That's a hard question to answer. But you don't want me to cry, do you?
No. Unless you
What?
the memory you want to people to have is so touching. What is it?
Well, I don't know. I hope they... How would I say that? Remember me as a nice mother and grandmother and nice mate. You know I'm a crybaby. Why do you want me to cry again?
I want you to
Why does
cry.
that make you cry?
I don't know.
That question.
Because I love you so much, and I'm getting old, and I'm going to have to leave you.
How old are you, Alice?
67.
How many more years might you have around here?
I don't know. But I hope someday we'll all be together again. I'll go meet the rest of the family up there, and we'll be all together again.
Well, I didn't mean to get you all choked up. Let's talk about something more pleasant.
How much longer is this going to last?
Not much.
Not much?
No.
What do you want me to say?
What was your wedding day like?
Oh, my wedding day?
Yeah.
Oh, my wedding day. It was beautiful. The sun was shining. It was February 27, 1933. And I got married in the old school. They were just building the new church that we have now. And I got married in the old school, and then we had a nice reception. We had a dinner in Lamar's Hall, which isn't there anymore. And we had a reception at night, and the first night we slept over to Daddy's mother and father, Pepe and Mame Charette, and they had a feathered bed. First time I slept in a feathered bed. That was the first night of our honeymoon. And the next day, his boss took us to Worcester. We went to the hotel in Worcester, and that's as far as we got because we only had $30 to go on the honeymoon, and Daddy was only making $11 a week then. But after we got married, his boss gave him a raise of $2. So he got $13 a week. And we had rented an apartment, all furnished apartment, and we were paying $4.50 for the apartment at Uncle Joe Cormier, mechanic and Spruce, in that big block, $4.50 a week. No, what is it?
Mechanic and Fort?
Mechanic and Fort, yes, Mechanic and Fort. On the 3rd floor, had a black stove, and I used to polish that stove. I'll never forget that.
Did they have hot water?
Yes, they had hot water there, I think, if I remember right.
How did we end up on 33rd Street without any hot water?
Well, I don't know. It was common then that people didn't, everybody couldn't afford hot water. If you wanted hot water, you had to rent a tank. But we moved to 33 because the apartment was bigger. I had 3 bedrooms there, but we didn't have hot water, and I had a stove that had a tank, and you used to heat the hot water with the stove, you know. Mm-hmm. It was oil. And then for 18 years we got along without it. You know what they say, what you don't have, you don't miss, and we never missed the hot water. And Saturday night was the hottest night of the week, you know. You had to take a big tub and heat the water on the stove and put it in the bathtub, and the oldest one went in first, and then the second one in line, and then when it came to the last one, well, the water wasn't, you know, I kept adding a little bit of water, so the water wouldn't be too dirty for the last one that took his bath on Saturday night.
I remember that. I was the 5th one in, and it was pretty racy by that time.
Yeah.
That's about it for tape.
That's about what?
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. God bless you.